Hello everyone, welcome to the Stealing Insight YouTube channel. Our topic for today is completing the square method. Completing the square method. I hope you're able to follow through with our factorization method in a way to solve quadratic equation. So completing the square method as a utilization to solve quadratic equation. One thing you need to know about completing the square method is that the first step is to get the coefficient of the x square here. So the coefficient of this x square here is 1. So you ought to divide through by 1. That's the first step. By the time you divide everything through by 1, you still have the same thing. So that's why we are not doing anything here for this question. The next question that we'll be solving, I'll be showing something in that direction. Now, when you now talk about completing the square, the next step after dividing through with the coefficient of x squared is to take the constants to the right hand side. So we can write this as x squared plus 4x equals to 2, because 0 plus 2, this negative sign will become positive when it comes to the right hand side. Then you have this. Now let me quickly chip something in here, that what you want to do is to make the left hand side to be a perfect square. That's why they call it completing the square method. This is having a possibility of becoming a perfect square if you had half of this and you square it. Now let me show what it meant. Is that if you have x plus 1 square, you don't need to solve this before you know the answer. This is the same thing as saying x squared plus 2x plus 1. How do I arrive at that? You are just squaring this, then plus 2, 1 and x, then plus 1 square. With this, you're having x squared plus 2x plus 1, which is the same thing as this. I hope you get that. So what we are saying in essence is that when you are completing the square, we want to make this a perfect square. Now, if you look at this question, this how I arrive here, what will give us this value, the value that will make this a complete square, is when you find half the value of what is actually here, the coefficient here, you find half of the value, then you square it. Like the one that was just erased, that we had x squared plus 2x plus 1. If you find half of this value, that will be 1 over 2 equals to 1. Then you square it. That's what gives you x squared plus 2x1 then plus 1 squared, which was written previously. So now, moving forward, we're going to be applying all that have just been analyzed here now in the question. So the next step is to look for the half of the coefficient of x. So the half of the coefficient of x will be 1 over 2 times plus 4. I'm intentionally writing plus 4 so that you won't miss it when you're writing for anything. If it is minus, you also take cognizance of the minus, the negative sign. So here is plus 4, then it means you're having 2 as the answer. Remember, when you are taking these 2 here, it must be squared in order for you to have the perfect square. So you have x squared, right, plus 4x plus 2 square. Now, you can't add it to the left hand side alone because you want to complete the square. So you also add it to the right hand side. That's 2 plus 2 square. So you have added 2 square here, 2 square here. This is going to make a perfect square, while this will also form another side of the equation. Now from here, you can now deduce what this is. You can deduce that this will give you x plus 2 square equals 2 plus 4. So what we are saying in essence with this question is that at this point we have gotten the value of x plus 2 square and this, and that is now x plus 2 square equals 6. Now, in order for us not to make it look difficult, if we apply the same rule I said the other time here, we will get this. The square of x is x squared. Then I said plus 2 multiplied by this, that's 2. Then multiply by this, that's x, plus 2 square. Meaning you are saying x squared 4x, then the 4. In another way around, that in order to make sure you understand it perfectly, is that this can be expanded as x plus 2, x plus 2, right? X times x will give you x squared, x times plus 2 will give you 2x, 2x, 2 times plus 2 will give you 2x, 2 times 4 will give you 4, then you still have it as x squared plus 4x plus 4, which is where we are coming from. So now we can eliminate this. So at this point, what you need to look for is to look for the square root of both sides. When you get the square root of both sides, then it will be square root of x plus 2 equals plus or minus square root of 6. Then this cancel this out. Then we have x plus 2 equals plus or minus root 6. Right? So now we're having x equals minus 2 plus or minus root 6. So this is simply saying x equals minus 2 plus root 6, or 2 minus 2 minus root 6. So if you want to simplify further, you find the square root of this and you add it up, you get your final answer. And if you are to leave the answer in short form, you have the answer in this manner. So that is the first question that we are to solve. Now moving down to the second question that I said that I'm going to be giving us another question in order to make this more expansive and more explanatory. For completing the square method, we're having another question here. The question goes thus, and I'm going to be intentional about picking a figure that will have both negative sign and a coefficient of x squared. So this question goes thus, that says 2m squared minus 3m plus 7 equals 0. Okay, minus 7 equals 0. We are expected to use completing the square method to solve this question. The first step, as I've mentioned, divide through with the coefficient of m squared. So you divide through with the coefficient of m squared. If you're dividing through with the coefficient of m squared, you're going to have 2m squared over 2 minus 3 over 2m minus 7 over 2 equals 0 over 2. By the time you simplify this, these two cancel these two out. You are going to be having m squared minus 3 over 2m minus 7 over 2 equals 0, because 0 over anything is still 0. You remember the next step that we spoke about the other time is to move the constants to the right hand side in order to make this equation on the left hand side, the part of the equation on the left hand side, a perfect square. So m squared minus 3 over 2m equals 7 over 2. Because 0 plus this, by the time this crosses to the other side, it becomes positive. Now remember what I told you from the beginning. For us to make this a perfect square, you need to first look for half of this thing. Half of it. So the first thing is to look for half of minus 3 over 2, which will be minus 3 over 4. Once you've gotten this half, you add the square of this value to both right hand side and the left hand side. So you are saying in essence m square minus 3 over 2 m, right, plus minus 3 over 4 square equals 7 over 2 plus minus 3 over 4 square. So that's what it means. We are just looking for half of this, then we square the half of this and add the square of it to both sides in order to ensure we are still maintaining the equation. So once we add it to the left hand side, we add it to the right hand side. Now here it is evident based on the examples that I've given before that from this question you can easily deduce that this and this will form a perfect square. Then the perfect square will be m minus 3 over 4 square equals 7 over 2 plus 9 over 16. So since we have transported this here, I'll be raising this just for us to be able to keep focus on what really matters. But before I continue, I would love to quickly expand this just for us to understand how this moved down to this. So if you have this m minus 3 over 4 square, what you are saying is this, right? Right? So you are saying m times m square. M times minus 3 over 4 will give you minus 3 over 4 m. Minus 3 over 4 times this will give you minus 3 over 4 m. Minus 3 times minus 3 will give you minus 3 over 4 square. So this will be m square minus, this is 4, and that's 3 minus 3, because it's going to be minus 3 minus 3. The reason I'm introducing this positive sign is just to separate this from the whole thing. So by the time you're having this, you're having m square minus 6 over 4. You're still having the m, right? Minus 6 over 4 m plus 3 over 4 square. 2 here, 2, 2 here, 3. So you can now see evidently that this m minus 3 over 2, because minus times plus will eventually give us this minus that we're having here. Then that is 3 over 2m plus minus 3 over 4 square. That's how we arrive. That's how we move from here to here. So that's how we move down. This is just the breakdown of what really happened. What is the relationship between the m square and this? Now, let's quickly conclude our completing the square method question. From where we have m minus 3 over 4 square equals 16, and that's 8 times 7, that's 56, plus 9. With this, we're having m minus 3 over 4 square equals 65 over 16. Then m minus 3 over 4 will now be equals to plus or minus 65 over 16. Then with this, we're having m equals 3 over 4 plus or minus root 65 over 4. Then with this, we can conclude on our m to be m equals 3 over 4 plus root 65 over 4, or 3 over 4 minus root 65 over 4, which is now m equals 4, 3 plus root 65, or 3 minus root 65 all over 4. And that's the answer. Thank you for watching to this point. If you have any question, please drop. If you have any question that is disturbing you around completing the square method and you want me to do a video on that in the future, please let's have the question. If you have any one of them that is proving difficult for you, let me have the question. I'll solve them for you and you have them. However, in order for you to lay hand on something, you can try to solve this question. And if you can solve in a paper and share your workings with me, the breakdown of your solution, I will appreciate. Solve on a paper, do a screenshot of it and upload, and let's see if you'll be able to get it. If there's any need for correction, I will always oblige you that regard. Thank you very much for listening to Distilling Insights.